Yeah, a lot of news coming at us, Jesse, in just the last 80 minutes or so. Let's start with this. President Trump has officially sued the Wall Street Journal, its parent companies, Rupert Murdoch, and the two reporters that reported on that story about this alleged letter that President Trump gave to Jeffrey Epstein for his birthday with some adult content in it. The Wall Street Journal not publishing that letter, but writing about it. President Trump had vehemently denied it ever existed. He said on Truth Social last night that he was going to file this lawsuit. He officially has done that. This is President Trump's post here, basically warning the Wall Street Journal and Murdoch if it published, they would be sued. That is what happened. The other big story that now the Attorney General has officially requested that documents, testimony be unsealed from the grand jury relating to Jeffrey Epstein's case. Jesse, this comes as there has been a ton of pressure for them to release more. Some critics of the administration say that information that's in those documents isn't going to hold the people accountable that need to be held accountable, and that it's just a symbolic gesture. Nonetheless, the first step toward that transparency. So that is what we have seen today. A lot of this happening. And Jesse, this has been in the news, obviously. Democrats have been pushing it to keep it alive. But today, the White House going on offense, also keeping this story in the headlines.
And from the DOJ, they haven't changed their position on their conclusions regarding the Epstein case. But they said, like you said, right, in the matter of public transparency, they're pushing for this. We'll see if a judge signs off on it. Joe Khalil, thank you so much. And now we're going to go over to Capitol Hill. We have a third Biden aide who has now pled the fifth. Annie Tomasini, this is former President Biden's special assistant, declining to answer questions about Biden's mental acuity and use of the auto pen during her deposition today with House Republicans. Our Tom Dempsey joins me now live from Capitol Hill with the latest. Tom, what happened?
Hey, good evening from the Capitol, Jesse. Look, hours after these proceedings took place, House Oversight Committee Republicans actually released video of this deposition of longtime Biden aide as well as the former deputy chief of staff, Annie Tomasini. She had this deposition earlier today, but pleaded the fifth, like you said, declining to answer a number of questions, all revolving around former President Biden's age and health while in office. Here's what she had to say. Take a listen.
Ms. Tomasini, did Joe Biden, a member of his family, or anyone at the White House ever instruct you to lie regarding his health at any time, including but not limited to in your testimony to Congress today?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Now, that was just one question and answer right there, but that was really the case throughout that deposition. Tomasini facing questions not just about former President Biden's mental health and age while in office, but also faced questions about former President Biden's handling of classified documents during his term, as well as the Biden family business dealings. But we saw House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer release a statement shortly after all this, again, really digging into this investigation and talking about an alleged conspiracy through it all, saying, quote, there is now a pattern of key Biden confidants seeking to shield themselves from criminal liability for this potential conspiracy. So again, there's going to be more interviews coming up. We're talking about, former White House press secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, former chiefs of staff of former President Biden. Some very notable interviews coming up. On one side, Republicans saying that there was sort of a conspiracy to conceal this cognitive decline of former President Biden. That's in the words of House Republicans. But on the other side, Jesse, Democrats saying this is all just a big waste of time.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.